welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jasline Shaw. Today I'm here to film another video for you guys about the topic about relationships, being single. Also, if you're in the waiting process of, just waiting on God's timing and looking for that man or woman, I just really wanted to talk to you guys about, about being single and just about relationships in general, and also sharing with you guys about some things I've learned in the waiting process, and also just about just being single and content right now in your season. And I really am very happy to actually share this topic with you guys, just because I'm now starting to transition over into different type of videos that I want to talk to you guys about, and not just keep it like a same routine of Sunday devotions, of fashion, but just different things and about the topic about relationships. So I really want to just, spill to you guys about, our relationships. First of all, just being single. I'm single myself, and I just really want to express to you guys about, being single, waiting process, and finding that right man, that right woman for your life, or someone that you're really trying to take serious and also commit to. So I totally understand, guys, if you're in the single season right now. If you're single, you're looking, you're waiting, or you may even be talking to a guy or a girl and you're trying to pursue them, trying to get to know them, and also trying to figure out if they're the right one, if they're not the right one, all those things, all those questions into your mind when you're trying to get to know someone, because you definitely don't want to waste your time. And so I do believe that time is so precious, and that, whoever you're speaking to, know their intentions with you, know what they want out of you, know what their goals are, know exactly where they're trying to go with their lives. Because if you don't come straight out and straightforward about your intentions, about what you want and what you desire, I think that can really, open or answer a lot of questions to whether or not that person is the one for you. So when you're single, just make sure that when you meet that guy or girl, that you kind of go straight forward and tell them your intentions, ask them their purpose, and also just what they're looking for. Because, getting to know someone for a period of time, of course, if you're jumping in from one relationship to the next, or just trying to meet a new person altogether, you don't want to waste your time. And I realized that, for 6 years of my life, and even before then, when I had my last long relationship, of course I was a lot younger then, and I didn't know any better when I had started out dating and stuff like that. But then again, I didn't ask straightforward questions at that time. But now that I've gotten older, I realized, okay, this is what I really want in a person, or this is definitely what I want to have in a person that I truly see potentially, marrying one day, and so I think that's so important to really get to, ask a person when you're, trying to get to know them, what are their intentions with you, or, what are their intentions period for their lives, just so that you can know that you guys may be on the same page or trying to reach the same goal. Because it's nothing like wasting your time on trying to, talk to somebody who is not really trying to go there, or who's not trying to, or who doesn't have the same ideas and values as yourself. So I think that's so important to find out first on before you enter any kind of relationship. Definitely know their standards, and definitely know if they have any standards, or, in their values, and also just, their morals too, because I think that's so important, especially if you are being abstinent or celibate. I do feel like that's important too, to see, is this person just trying to get with me for sex? And let's just be real, I'm going to throw it out there, some people, have, you may be physically attracted to them, and that's all great and dandy. But at the same time, you need to know what a person's intentions are about you, or what they want out of you, because it's nothing like wasting your time on someone who doesn't really see you as more than just, some sex. So, guys, I just think it's very real. You're entering in that stage of trying to find somebody or trying to talk to someone, figure out what their intentions are straight up, and be real. And so, not only just being single, guys, single is the greatest thing, honestly, because you may be at a stage in your life where, I'm 25. I just turned 25 this last month in September. So, 2 months ago in September. And I think about it now that I'm in my mid-20s, and I'm at that stage in that time frame where I'm thinking about what's next, what's next for my life, or, just trying to meet a guy that, I definitely want to see myself, you know, being long-term with and being committed to, because right now I'm very content. I'm very happy being single at the stage that I'm at right now, but I definitely don't want to rush into anything. I definitely want to take my time to make sure that me and the guy I choose to spend my life with, we both have the same standards and we both have the same values and we definitely want the same things in life. So I think that's so important, you know, because even myself, like, I just feel that we're at the time frame, if you're in your 20s, your mid-20s, or even, you know, younger, if you're in your early teens, like, you know, dating is so different, because when you grow up, you start to mature, and you will become that way, or even if you are now at that stage, because people do get married young, and there's nothing wrong with that. I definitely love young love, so I do believe that, you know, at a young age, definitely know, you know, what you want in a person. Definitely know, you know, your standards, and definitely also just have self-respect for yourself and don't settle for anything, because settling is like the worst thing you can do, especially at a young age, and definitely at this time in our lives right now. Settling is something no one should do. You deserve exactly what you asked for and what you put forth in. So I definitely believe that, you know, give and take, like, you should not settle for anything, especially if a person does not, you know, agree with your ways or your ideas or your values or your morals. Then I feel like that's a waste of time, and don't waste your time on that person, because, you know, being with a person for the wrong reasons, because they're cute or because they're fine or because they're so attractive, you know, looks do fade and physical attraction does fade. Sex does fade, and that's just being real, and I'm being honest, guys. Those things fade. They are not long term. Those are just stupid bondages that keep you locked with somebody, but then they don't feel anything in your hearts. Those voids become open to where you're looking for something more. You desire more. You may want to seek other things or seek other people. And so that's where adultery, you know, cheating and all that stuff comes along. So before you even enter into that stage of trying to find somebody, and for long-term purposes, make sure that, you know, you guys have more than just a physical attraction, that you guys have the same morals, the same ideas, the same purposes, and also the same belief, because that's so important. Because myself, as a Christian, I do believe in waiting on God's timing and God's purpose for my life, and waiting on that right one to come along when it's supposed to be. I'm definitely open to, you know, getting to know a person and just trying to seek it, to see where that guy stands and his purposes for his life, and I hope that he meets the same as mine, you know, because I have that desire to love, and I have that desire to want to take it to the next level, but I definitely don't want to waste my time with someone who doesn't see the same thing, or doesn't, or who's not ready. So I think that that's so important too. I just kind of want to talk to you about, you know, what you should do while you're in the single process, like in the waiting process is what I call it, the wait season. I think that, you know, while you're young, while you're living in your 20s, your mid-20s, or even if you're 18 and up, I believe like this time frame is like the time for where you should enjoy your lives, guys. Like, I'm right now, you know, I've been doing a lot of traveling. I've also been doing a lot of, like, you know, studying, just studying God's word, getting closer to the Lord as a Christian, and just also just spending a lot more quality time with my family and friends. I think that, you know, at this time frame in my life right now, I've been doing a lot of, you know, saving. I work, so I do a lot of saving. I do a lot of, you know, reading my Bible, do a lot of planning and budgeting and things like that. So I feel like this time of your lives, guys, you shouldn't be in a rush or in a hurry to, you know, get into a relationship. You know, not only, like I'm saying, not get into any relationship, because, you know, getting in a relationship is beautiful, especially when you know that that's the one, you know, and you know, you guys are ready to spend your lives together. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, at the time as you're waiting in that waiting season process, you know, focus on the things that you should prepare yourself for, because, you know, there's nothing like preparing yourself, because of course you don't know what's gonna happen or what's gonna come or who's to come, because hey, a guy may come at you in like, a year or two or whatever, or even sooner than that, you never know, or even a woman. So I think that, at this time frame, if you're in that waiting season like myself, use this time wisely to have fun, guys. Go on vacations, like travel, see the world if you can. I think that's so important, because I've been a lot of places and I've always had the desire to travel, see different things and like see the world, because I just love, like different cultures and different, backgrounds and sceneries. And I love going to the beach. It's like my favorite thing to do. I had just got back from a week cruise for the first time, and I was in love. I was in paradise. I felt like so at peace, just because I was able to see, different sides of the world that I've never gotten to experience. And so I think that, you guys, you go on those vacations, book those trips, book those flights, go see things that you've never seen before. I think that, traveling is so important, because hey, you have memories to share with like your friends and family. And I just believe that traveling is so important to your life. And don't miss out on not traveling and not seeing the world as you should. Also saving, guys. I'm such a big planner and saver and I spend too, so I do a little both. I love having a planner with me at all times, because I'm very good at managing my life. I try to manage my days, of course, with work, and also just after work, and just having time to do things that I need to do. I think that having a planner, and also just being able to write down like your bills, write down the things you have going on, also just keeping track of managing, your day to day. Some things may not happen according to how you plan things, but I think just staying organized is so important, guys, especially if you're single. Being organized, and also just, staying on top of your bills, trying to save here and there is so important too, because I think that that's going to help manage your growth as you become, a matured adult. When you get to that stage, when you meet someone, you can be able to, join finances, and also be more responsible in your budgeting and how you deal with money. So I think that that's so important to you guys while you're single, is, practice saving and practice, budgeting your money, because of course expenses are going to come, especially when you're with somebody. If you plan on, getting a house with that person, if you plan on getting married, getting a house, and also if you're trying to plan for a future and have kids, that's definitely something that you should look into, just trying to, work on managing your money in a responsible way, so that way you can be prepared for those type of things. So I think that's so important too. So definitely, guys, look up different tools for how you can budget and plan and save, because there's so many ideas out there. And guys, while you're single, be patient. Be patient. I say patience because, social media has its way of showing us that, he or she is married, he or she got engaged, or he and she had a baby. That's so common, right? Like, I'm pretty sure we all see it, and we're all like, wow, man, why couldn't that be me? Or wow, man, like, when is my time coming? I'm faulty. I'm not faulty. I'm guilty at doing that as well, guys. I'm so guilty at doing that and wondering, okay, when is my time coming? Because I'm like so ready. Not like I'm ready, but I kind of am. I'm ready, to meet a person. I'm ready to meet the guy in my life, and I do desire to have that in my life. I do desire to be married one day. So those are the things I think about, and I'm just like, wow, it amazes me to see other people, meet the man of their dreams, and they're so happy and they're so in love, and then seeing people have babies and stuff, and it just makes me think like, oh man, I can't wait to, start my future. But, all those things come in timing, at the right time. And I think that it's so important just to be patient, in the season that you're in, guys. I believe that God is going to bless us with exactly what we desire and deserve at the right time. And there's no need to rush ahead of God's timing for you. I believe that God will give you exactly what you want and exactly what you desire at the right timing. And so I say patience just because, like, myself, that has been a big struggle for me, especially just because, like, you know, it's always been a part of me that I wanted the next thing. You know, in my past relationship, I was with someone for about 6 years, and I don't often share the story. I do a little bit. I only say a little about it because, you know, it was such a emotional relationship and a heartbreaking relationship because it was very hard. It was very difficult to break off, and but I had to for myself because I wanted more. I wanted growth, and I didn't see that relationship growing. I felt in my heart that I deserved more and I desired more, and I felt that, you know, as time was gonna go, I just believed in my heart that, you know, God kept speaking to me, saying to, you know, let it go, and that, you know, and that that just wasn't the right relationship for me. And so when I speak on being patient, guys, I just speak on, you know, not being patient and jumping into anything, especially even if you're with somebody right now. And this is for people who are in relationships. If you feel that, you know, you're with somebody and you feel like this person isn't it, like you feel in your heart that that person is just, it's just something that you feel in your gut and in your mind that this isn't right, that this isn't gonna work, or there's no growth going forward in this relationship, that's when you know deep down that that's God speaking to you. So I really do urge you guys to listen to that inner peace, that inner gut feeling in your heart and in your mind, that spirit that's calling upon you. That's Jesus talking to you guys. That's God, you know, telling you, hey, you know, let it go because he has more for you. He desires more for you. So I do believe that, you know, God speaks to us at different times, and sometimes, you know, it's hard to break those relationships off. And I've been in that situation in my last relationship, my 6-year relationship, to where it was very hard to say, hey, this isn't going forward, or there's no growth, you know, in this. And it was hard to really just, you know, acknowledge that, and that I was fighting to keep that relationship because I felt that, you know, this was going to be my last relationship. I believed that I was going to marry that person. I believed that he was the one for me. I really did believe those things. And so I think that's where, you know, you really have to start praying. And I felt like I was growing more on my spiritual side at that time, in those seasons where I felt lost and I felt confused and uncertain about us, about our relationship at that time. And I had to pray, and I kept praying, and I kept feeling in my heart, you know, that God was trying to pull me over here. But at the same time, I had my ex, you know, pulling me in that opposite direction. And so it was like fighting against whether keeping something or, you know, following God. And so I chose God, and I did, and I said, God, I'm going to surrender to you, God. If this is in your will, if this is under your control, I'm going to let this go. So I let it go, you know, and I say it was the most hardest thing to do, guys. It really was. It was the hardest thing to do, let alone because me and him, we've been through so many things. Like, we've been back and forth a lot over the years through high school and college, and it was very hard to just let that go and say, hey, this isn't gonna work anymore, you know. And it gets to that point where you're like, wow, like there's not much more to give here, you know. And that's when you know that, you know, you two are growing into two different directions, and that God's trying to pull you here, and then this other person's trying to pull you there. And so, guys, I just encourage you to really listen to your heart, listen to what God's trying to tell you. Don't be stubborn. Don't be scared to let go of what you know isn't right for you. Don't settle. Don't belittle who you are, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Right, guys, so that wraps up my single relationships talk about, you know, if you're in a relationship, if you feel that God's calling upon you to let go of that relationship, listen to what God is telling you, guys. Don't settle. Do not settle. If you're single like myself and you're in the waiting process, just wait and hang on tight and be patient. Trust God's timing for your life. Trust that God will deliver that right man or woman for you. And just do not give up. Use this time wisely while you're single to, work on working on yourself, working on becoming a better you, so that way you can prepare yourself before you do meet someone and become one with that person one day. So I really do hope, guys, that you enjoyed this video about relationships, being single. I totally understand both sides. Being single is a beautiful thing. Being in a relationship is a beautiful thing. Being married is a blessing. And so definitely don't waste you guys' time on a person if you definitely don't see that it's a long-term fitting relationship. Definitely be strong in your beliefs and be strong in what you know in your heart, what God is telling you to do. Don't oppose what God's trying to tell you to do, because if not, you may miss out on what God's trying to bless you with later. So I really do hope you guys enjoy the video, and if you do, please thumbs up. If you want to hear more about relationships and love and all those things in general, please subscribe down below to my channel, and also just comment and make comments about it. I would love to talk more about relationships. I'm just giving a very brief detailing about being single and being in relationships and some things that you can do in your time of waiting. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please thumbs up. Thank you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.